Okay, back to how are Donald Trump's supporters feeling today about what they've seen thus far from the president-elect? Do they like his cabinet picks, his tweets, his pivots on some of his promises? Let's bring in CNN contributor and New York Post columnist Salena Zito. She traversed the country talking to Trump supporters before the election, and you continue to talk to them now. Great to see you this morning.
Thanks for having me.
Let's talk about the big coup that Mr. Trump has announced last night. He has secured a deal with Carrier Air Conditioning to keep 1,000 jobs in Indiana that were set to go to Mexico. You're going to Carrier tomorrow.
I am.
You went before the election and talked to those folks. Did they think he was going to be able to deliver on that promise?
You know, there was such a sense of uncertainty and instability, and people were afraid to pin their hopes on that. But he made a convincing argument that he was going to do it, and he had their back. Last night, Carrier tweeted that a deal had been made, and there would be at least 1,000 jobs kept in the town. I think it was a total of 1,400 that were going to be moved. So that's a big deal.
That's like a drop the mic moment because he's not president yet.
No.
So this is what people always said about him, his supporters. He's a deal maker.
He's a deal maker. You know, people couldn't understand, why blue-collar workers, found this billionaire Manhattanite sort of appealing. But he's appealing because he makes deals. And they believe that nobody has made any deals for them in a very long time. He won states like Michigan, Wisconsin, Indiana, Ohio, Pennsylvania. No Republican has done that since Reagan and Eisenhower. That's it.
Now, I mean, mind you, we don't know what the deal is.
Well,
we don't know what they were promised,
right.
And hopefully all of that will come out. We in the press certainly like to know the nitty-gritty of these details. Let's talk about some of the tweets that he has sent out in the past 48 hours. He tweeted that millions of people voted illegally. That was not true.
Not true.
He tweeted that he would believe in jailing people if they burned the flag. That is actually protected freedom of speech. You don't have to like it, but it is protected by the Supreme Court and the Constitution. Do his supporters care about these tweets? Do these things fire them up?
They do fire him up. Look, he has fed off of their support the entire time. He gets energized by it. It makes him feel connected to them, especially when he was doing rallies. And he doesn't have that ability to do that for the past 3 weeks. This is a way to connect with them, and it's a way for them to connect with him.
But when he sends out erroneous things, I mean, just flat out false, they forgive that.
Just like they forgive it at rallies.
And why do they not demand the truth?
Well, I think they expect it in his actions, but not in his rhetoric. So they look at his rhetoric as a way to get excited and get connected, and he's talking the way that they would probably talk at the water cooler or at the diner or at the coffee shop or whatever. You know, people tend to exaggerate when they're discussing things of big consequence.
And he's talking about how they feel. Yeah, people should be jailed for burning the flag.
For burning the flag.
Technically, that's not where we are in this country.
Exactly. If you looked at what Democratic U.S. Senator Joe Manchin from West Virginia said yesterday, about he would, kick them, in the posterior if they did that. Most Americans
feel that way.
They do feel that way.
Mitt Romney said in no uncertain terms during the campaign that he did not believe that Donald Trump was fit to become president. Now they're breaking bread. It's possible Mitt Romney will become Secretary of State. How do Donald Trump's supporters feel about something like this? Do they feel betrayed? Do they feel this? No, this is another deal.
This is another deal. They like the idea of all different varieties of types of people. Look, he ran a non-ideological race. So this is not about like more conservative or less conservative or a Democrat or the criticisms. I mean, we have a great history of doing that. If we would look back at what Seward said about Lincoln when he ran against him in 1860 and then he becomes the Secretary of State, we tend to bring our rivals on because we know that they're the ones that kept us on our toes.
And similarly, bringing in Goldman Sachs billionaires to the cabinet, Donald Trump's supporters don't see that as a betrayal because they're looking for deals. deals.
They're
for
looking
them.
for deals. They're looking for stuff to get done. They're looking for people with knowledge. They don't, people think, oh, they want this blue collar hero. No, they don't. They want someone that's going to accomplish things, that offers tangible benefits to them and to their lives and livelihoods in their communities.
We're going to be meeting. We are going to be sitting down with some of Donald Trump's supporters today, and we'll bring that to everyone tomorrow on the program. Salena Zito, great to see you. Thanks
Great to be
so
here.
much for
Thanks.
being here. Let's get over to Chris.